Mixties presents the Popcast.
Hey everybody, my name is Brian, and this is Shane, and this is the Popcast, and today we are talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, specifically the music that will be in the next movie. Shane, What do you got to say to him, bro?
What do I got to say to him? The music is what this movie is about.
Yeah.
This music.
I agree.
Right? Wouldn't you agree?
Both movies have been very keen on the music, right?
And it's very specific. The music is very specific to a time-centered area. So everybody who's seen the movies knows that basically Star-Lord is stuck out in the universe somewhere, the galaxy, I guess, somewhere. And all he has for listening to tunes is his Walkman that his mom left him, Volume 1, and of course, Volume 2 at the end of the first movie we saw. So that's been his entire music category up to this point. But in the most recent film, his Walkman was destroyed.
It was destroyed, and it hurt.
It was destroyed.
And his father destroyed it.
And his father destroyed it, just like he killed his mother. Then he killed the only link he had to his mother. I mean, it was just utter destruction. But his daddy gave him a Zune.
When he says daddy, he's referring to Yondu.
Yondu. The blue guy with the fin on his head.
Blue guy with the fin left him a piece of tech that they gave him at the very end of the movie, and it is a Zune with hundreds of songs, and he was all astounded that it can hold that much.
Right.
And,
so you got your Sony Walkman that's got a cassette that holds maybe at the most, maybe like 24 songs. And he had 2 tapes. Now he's got a Zune that holds, I guess, would technically hold thousands of songs, right?
Yeah, technically, yeah. It's like I have a Zune. I still have it. I don't use it, but I have it, and I think I have the 8 gig one or something like that.
Okay.
Which would be enough to hold thousands of songs easily. You know what's crazy is I'm glad that they used a Zune and not like an iPod or iPod Mini or something like that. It gives it so much more character. I never thought I would say this, but the Zune has more character than the iPod because the Zune is dead, basically.
Well, I think that's what makes more sense is that, I mean, he recovered it from I think he said he found it at some junker, right, is what they said, where he found the Zune, which makes sense because the Zune no longer is produced. Mm-hmm. And by the way, I don't know if you guys know, the Zune was actually made in 2006, so made by Microsoft. It's actually credited for making the iPod a better product, making the Apple product better, because the Zune was actually not a very successful device, even though you have one.
But when it came out, it was better than the iPod. It was it had a full color screen, and the screen was big, and the menus were easier, and it was just better in every way. Even the sound quality is better. They had an equalizer on it. The iPod didn't have equalizers and all that.
It was better for like 5 minutes, though.
Right. It was better until iPod was like, oh, we're going to do this? Cool.
We can do this.
Here's the iTouch, which is basically an iPhone, but without the phone part. Hey, what's your next move, Zune? And Zune's like, Zune HD Touch. Too late, bro. Too late.
Yeah.
You should have started with that.
No, it's true. It came out, I think, in 2009 was the HD Touch. But so basically, what's the point of this? So why did they bring us a Zune? Could he have found another Walkman? Would it have been as cool if he had found another? A Walkman would have been realistically junked, maybe, because it came out in the 80s. It was popular in the 80s, so they could have found that. But finding a Zune gives us 2 options, 2 places to go. Okay, so you've done 2 movies where most of the music was centered around the 60s, right? But that made sense because his mom gave it to him. His mom grew up in the 60s. It was her music. It's the music he listened to. But now it's not his mom's music anymore that he's listening to, which begs to ask the question, will they go updated for Volume 3?
Well, let's talk about the business behind the movie. There's only so many songs you can pull that have, a Guardians of the Galaxy feel to it, B has nostalgia, and it still works for this time. Like all the music they've chosen are songs that still work. Like they're older, but they have a classic feel about them, or they have a tone that you can like hum. It's not like, because there's a lot of music in the 60s and 70s, but not all of it has stood the test of time, like a lot of the songs that they've chosen for these movies, and then has that Guardians of the Galaxy feel to it. It's not just the feeling, but like the ability for it to stand up against the decades that it's, that's how old it is.
And it started out straight out with Hooked on a Feeling in the first, when Star-Lord comes in and he puts his headset on, and we're in this alien world, and all of a sudden he puts his headset on and we can hear what he's hearing, and it just takes us there. So would Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 be smart to continue with the theme that they've used, or should they be brave enough to break out and say, well, we've got this Zune, we can use music, pretty much at least all the way up to 2008.
I don't think they can go with the same. No. I don't think they can keep pulling songs from the 60s and 70s. I don't think that there is as many left that are new and fresh and, like I said, good enough to be classics and stand the test of time. Just because something's a classic age-wise doesn't mean it's a classic pop culture-wise. Hooked on a Feeling, The Chain by Fleetwood Mac, these are songs that have a tune that you can remember and keep going. And you can argue there's other music, too, that are still there they haven't used, but I can also argue that some of that music is also going to cost a lot to buy. And in that, just because it's a classic and someone might like it, they need to also somehow appeal to the general audience too, not just the old guys or women or people that remember it, right?
Okay.
So The Chain by Fleetwood Mac was in the recent one, and I found myself adding that to a playlist. And I like it a lot, and I like the tune, and and it's really cool.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that this movie reintroduced me to that song, but not everything Fleetwood Mac did in that era has that same vibe to it. Has that same timeless, remembrance.
It's all great, though. I will tell you, Fleetwood Mac's awesome.
It's all great, but it just doesn't have it. Yeah, it doesn't. Their entire catalog doesn't stand the test of time.
Well, and it doesn't also say Guardians of the Galaxy, because they've got a, Guardians of the Galaxy. I do have a few songs that I think would go well if they did a Volume 3 and they stayed with kind of a more classic approach in music. I've got a few songs, 3 of them.
So Shane and I made lists. I made 10 songs that I think they're going to be using, centered around the late 80s, all the way up to like the early 2000s. And I have 10 songs in that range of late 80s, early 2000s. I think
based on the fact that there's a Zune.
Right. Based on the fact that there's a Zune. And I think that business-wise, they're going to try to get, not newer, because it's not new, but like they want to open up, with the Zune, it allows them to open up a couple decades of music that fit not just in the timeline, but for the business of it. Maybe songs that a lot of people remember from the early 90s, but they're not popular now, and they're going to cost them a whole lot less for licensing, right? Some of the real classic stuff actually cost a fortune for licensing because it's used in a lot of stuff, right?
It's true.
So I have
you don't see a lot of Beatles.
I have a dark horse. My final pick here is, I call it the dark horse pick, because it hits multiple areas. It's going to hit. It's hard to explain, but what it's going to do is this final pick I'm going to tell you guys, it's going to hit multiple targets. It's going to give you that old school feeling. It's going to have the Guardians of the Galaxy vibe. It's not going to cost a lot to purchase, and a lot of people are going to remember it. But a lot of people won't remember this version of it. So I really think it's a good one. Let's start with your list of if they stick with the same approach.
Wow, my curiosity is just peaking here.
I know, you got to wait for it, though. I want to get you through the full show. This full 20 minutes of greatness.
Okay, well, I think if they're going to go old school again, I think it's important that we grab a couple of songs that I think make a lot of sense. So I think right now the Guardians are going through a real happy time. the transition into Volume 3, I think, is going to be, they're at a high right now. So I think you're going to see a song maybe like "What a Wonderful World" by Louis Armstrong. I could see that being used.
Okay.
The Turtles, "So Happy Together."
So happy together.
I mean, it totally fits the feel and the sound of what Guardians is right now. And I might think, you might even catch a song like "Lean on Me" by Bill Withers. All team-oriented group stuff. I could see those types of songs, some good feel-good, bring it together. Buy the world a Coke with a smile, or something like that.
Share a Coke with the universe.
I'd like to buy the world a Coke. Yeah, but they won't use that one, of course. Is Coke sponsoring Guardians of the Galaxy? I don't think so.
I don't think so. Okay, so
those are my old school songs that I would pick.
Those are good picks for old school songs. There's 3 of them there, so they might mix those in. I went a different direction with it. I think we're gonna see REM. It's the End of the World.
Oh, okay.
That's a pretty classic song in the sense. I mean, it's not like classic, but it is classic. A lot of people recognize it. It's been used in a lot of movies. Especially like when something bad's happening. But I can totally see that. I mean, the Guardians of the Galaxy is always about world-breaking stuff, right? It's the end of the world, as we know. I can see that happening.
I can see that happening during a scene when when Adam Warlock is breaking out and doing something crazy. I can see it.
Right.
It.
So that's my first one, and then I'm gonna go with Michael Jackson, Black or White.
I got Michael Jackson too. Black or White?
Black or White.
Interesting.
Let me explain.
Okay, that's not the one I would have chosen, but okay.
Now, let me be clear. I'm not even a Michael Jackson fan.
But
I'm not like I mean, I like some of his stuff, but I'm not like a huge fan.
You're not like Michael. Wait a sec. I figured you for sure would be like a Michael Jackson guy.
No.
You grew up in. No.
Not really. No. I mean, I like some of his stuff, but not a huge fan. It's really hard for me to separate his music from like his other stuff too, and that it's hard for me. But Black or White is this song that was extremely popular when it came out. I mean, on YouTube alone, the video has like 180 million views. It's insane, right? It was very popular, but it came out in what, 91, right?
Yeah, 90s. Mm-hmm.
Okay. It might cost them a little to get, but I can see that being a good song for the love scene. We're definitely gonna see the love interest, Gamora and Star-Lord's relationship get to the next level or completely fall apart in this next movie.
Okay.
They've been teasing it for 2 movies, and I can see that song illustrating that. And I think it's not one of his like most famous, but it's not one of his least famous either. It was loved, and it'll be just relevant enough to work and just obscure enough for you not to be like, oh, it figures, right? Oh, that's the song they're gonna use, right? And that's what they do with Guardians of the Galaxy. They use like these songs that are like a little obscure but also known. Like you wouldn't guess that they were gonna use The Chain in this movie. I would never have guessed that, Well,
I have a Michael Jackson one as well.
What's yours?
So my Michael Jackson one, I believe, would be "Smooth Criminal." I think that's the song that they would use.
Damn it, Shane. Now, because you said that, I have to share my dark horse, my last pick.
Really?
Now, I have to share it now. Because I think they're going to use Smooth Criminal as well, but I don't think it will be the Michael Jackson version.
No, not Alien Ant Farm's version.
They're going to use the Alien Ant Farm Smooth Criminal.
Oh, man.
Let me explain.
I can see that. No, I can see that.
Geffen Records owns the rights to Alien Ant Farm's Smooth Criminal. It's way cheaper, like business-wise, way cheaper. We're talking about a tenth of the price to get that version of the song than it is to get the Michael Jackson version of the song. Okay?
Okay.
Not to mention, it's a song that everybody's going to recognize immediately because of Michael Jackson.
True.
But they won't recognize that version immediately.
Right.
It fits the whole Guardians vibe. It really does.
It does.
It fits.
Man, I'm sorry I ruined it for you, bro.
You did. You ruined my dark horse. It fits the vibe. It has a different version of that famous song that people are going to recognize, you know. But not a lot of people know about Alien Ant Farm's version, you know.
Yeah.
They know about Michael Jackson's version. So it's cheaper, fits the vibe, and it hits all the marks. Hits all the marks you need for a great Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 song.
Okay. I can see that happen to everybody. Before the show started, he said, "I've got this dark horse. I'm gonna break it out," and then I'm like, "Okay, cool." And I think he was gonna share it with me, but I didn't really ask for it. And he said, "Oh, I'll break it out during the show." So I really ruined that for him. I'm sorry, bro.
It's okay.
It's the first song I thought of though, because it makes sense. I mean,
they're going on a heist, right? It's gonna be a heist movie.
It'll be a good one. So, and I'm in agreement with you.
That whole crazy that breakdown where it's like the electric car, woo, like that is so like the Guardians moment. Like, it's arguably it's not like a better version of the song or whatever, but it's definitely a different version of the song, and it definitely fits the Guardian vibe. And it's going to cost them a whole lot less than getting the Michael Jackson version.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the Michael Jackson version, I mean, I love where you're going with it, Alien Ant Farm. It seems to make sense. But if they were able to get the Michael Jackson version, I mean, that's more classic and I think would be received better. But I think you're right. I could see him going Alien Ant Farm.
I mean, I think that both, in the right context, both would be received equally. But one would be way more unique, which is like it's the way the Guardians work. Like everything about them is unique. They set trends, right? So I think that's gonna be a thing. Okay, so my third pick, even though that was my dark horse, thank you, Shane. If they introduce rap into this, which they might not, but if they do, there's a couple artists that are going to have to get a mention here, and I think that they'll at least be on the soundtrack, and there'll be clips of them, right? I think number one, Notorious B.I.G., Juicy. Again, it hits the mark. It meets the Guardians mark. Like, it's unique and a little weird, and people will recognize it, whether you like rap or not. They'll recognize it, and then they might just use small clips of it, like they do other songs in the Guardians. It's very small snippets of music.
Are you do you have like a camera in my house or something? Are you messing with me right now?
Did you pick Juicy?
I picked Juicy, but I didn't pick B.I.G. I picked Better Than Ezra's Juicy.
Really?
Juicy by Better Than Ezra. It's not a well-known song, but it fits the vibe of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And it could be used in a funny scene. I mean, I think it would be great. That's weird that we got some of the same stuff here. We must be brothers or something.
Yeah. Well, so maybe I don't know if you have this guy. I think that the next one that they'll definitely throw music in there from, arguably the king of the rap sing from 2000 and the early 2000s and the 90s. The king, the guy on the top of the rap hill.
Vanilla Ice.
Nope.
Vanilla Ice.
The guy,
come on.
The guy you will never forget. It doesn't matter how old you get. You will remember this guy's name.
I'm just kidding.
I know.
He's got a candy named after him. I know.
It's Eminem.
All right.
And I think there's a song that everybody will recognize immediately called "Just Lose It."
Yeah.
And I think that song, while they definitely can't use the full song because I'm pretty sure it would give the movie an R rating. Using that tune and snippets of that, "Just Lose It," nah, would be perfect. If they're gonna go down the rap, if they might not use any rap at all. But
it's going to be tough, because they definitely want to use feel-good music. All their music up to this point has been music that makes you happy.
So think about this. I mean, that song does make me happy. When I listen to it, I can't help but smile. It's funny.
Okay.
Think about like the rebellious Groot listening to Eminem. Just lose it. Nah. I mean, I don't know.
I can see it. Okay, because we're gonna have Teenage Groot in the next one, right?
Right.
Okay, I can see that.
Here's my fifth pick. Not rap. you'll never guess this. And maybe you did. Who knows? We're brothers. Spice Girls Wannabe.
Oh.
It's a feel-good song.
Definitely a feel-good song.
It's about coming up and doing what they want to do.
Yeah, no,
I could see Spice Girls being one of the Guardians songs. They go for that obscure thing a lot.
I mean, I'm gonna admit that I sort of liked that song when it came out. So I did. I thought it was a pretty good song. But my big issue really is that I don't know if I could see maybe coming back to Spice Girls. Okay, let's throw it out there. Let's say they're gonna go Spice Girls. I could see Wannabe, maybe a Gomorrah scene or something like that.
Maybe a drag scene.
Maybe a drag scene that could happen.
Yeah. What about
anything
CNC
funny?
Music Factory? Gonna make you sweat.
I don't know about that one. That came out in 1991.
Dance now. Dun, 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 dun. I mean,
that sounds almost like a credit song. Maybe
yeah.
I could see that being like a credit song where Groot's like doing his thing, or something. Or maybe they're all dancing. I could see what was the big joke in the last movie? He said, "You need to find somebody you can dance with," or he has the wrong girl. Gamora's not his girl. He needs a girl who can dance, or something like that.
Right. And he goes, "Not someone that's pathetic. You need someone that's pathetic as you."
Yeah, no, CNC Music Factory's definitely is upbeat. I see that being an interesting choice. I don't know if they would use it for a scene in the movie, but I could see maybe a credit scene or something like that. Sure.
Okay, now, in every one of these movies, there are sad moments, right?
Yes.
It's not always happy-go-lucky, and the music's got to fit that. You can't play Everyone Dance now when one of the characters is dying, right? Or when they're depressed.
No.
What about Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit?
Okay. I thought about Nirvana, bro. I thought about that. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the songs that I remember from the movies and during the down times, and I can't think of anything memorable. So I don't know if they would spend the money on a Nirvana song. You know what I mean? For a down moment. Although it's a great choice, obviously one of their better songs.
That's true.
And it's iconic, but I don't know if they would spend the money on it for a down scene.
That's true. Yeah.
I
mean, yeah, the business of it changed it too. It's like, although they did make a bunch of money. Well, we'll see.
They could do like a Nirvana, side B track, something that people don't know a lot about.
Yeah.
Like maybe, I don't know what they would do. Probably maybe some of the musical, maybe just some of the music, maybe not the lyrics or something like that.
That's it for me, by the way. I thought of other groups like Limp Bizkit. I could see a Zune having Limp Bizkit songs on it and whatnot. But
how about All Star?
All Star, yeah.
I can see that.
I thought of like I always forget the Offspring. Offspring has a very happy tone to it. But I didn't want to go too far into it and pick too many songs, so I left them off my list. But I can see, I can see Limp Bizkit not working in the movie, but definitely working for the track. Maybe they scroll by a Limp Bizkit song on the Zune or something.
Okay, maybe that could happen. How about Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba?
Uh-huh.
Remember that song?
Yeah.
That'd be kind of fun.
All right.
I get knocked down, I get back up again.
I get knocked down and I get up again. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good song. I mean, the Proclaimers, 500 Miles, could walk 500 miles. There's
walk 500 miles. Yeah.
But let's go iconic. We're gonna go iconic. Michael Jackson, Alien Ant Farm. You think that'll be the Smooth Criminal? Will be like the key song?
It costs less. It has a real super unique sound to it.
Okay.
It is unique because it's like, oh, here's this classic song that you all recognize, but it's in a way different version. Like it's electric guitar and crazy jumping, and like it has way more energy than the original Smooth Criminal, which seems like something that Guardians would do. I mean, I sort of like the Alien Ant Farm song. I sort of like it better. I mean, I remember the Michael Jackson song first. I remember actually that's one of the songs that got me to like Michael Jackson when I was younger. But if I listen to both songs now, and I had never heard either one, I don't know. I might be be drawn toward with the Smooth Criminal, the Alien Ant Farm version because it's so fun. It's just very fun.
I mean, they could pick something more, if they're going to go Michael Jackson, which it seems like if you're going to pull somebody iconic from the last 30 or 40 years, Michael Jackson would be it. I mean, it would be fun. You could do so many different songs. You could do Thriller just to see. I mean, Thriller it seems like it would be over the top. You could do Billie Jean. There's so many good songs that you could do. Now, if they do go back to a 60s flavor, they could do the Jackson 5, a couple of songs, maybe ABC 1, 2, 3. So you could get Michael Jackson even back then.
That's true. Yeah, there's a lot you could do with it. Well, that's our list, folks. Unless you have any more songs you want to bring up.
I can go on and on. I mean, the reality is that I think
stopped. Yeah.
The Zune brings in a new idea.
Yeah.
We got to figure out. Like, if you check out my shirt, I've got Awesome Mix Volume 2 on my shirt, right?
I do
It's
not.
got my cassette. Well, here's my question. Is Volume 3 going to have a Zune? There's going to be a Zune design here. We're going to have to come up with something like that. They're going to have to come up with something like that. So,
yeah, that's true.
But here's my point. The Zune brings in a whole new level. We get to decide. We get to talk about it. So definitely
start using my Zune again.
Get some inspiration. So you guys subscribe, comment below, and tell us what music you think will be in the next movie. Should they stay with the same theme? Is it getting old and tired? Should they update it since now they can with a brand new device? What do you think they should do in Volume 3 since right now it's hot and everybody's talking about it and the second movie was great?
Hot.
Yeah, I don't know if they can make a better Volume 3. I don't know if the movie can be better as far as entertainment-wise. Maybe it could be more critically acclaimed, Volume 3. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do.
I don't know. I loved the first Guardians. I remember making this comparison with this guy you and I used to work with, Taylor. I was like, listen, man, I love Star Wars. It's my favorite franchise, of course. But I don't know if you said, watch Star Wars A New Hope and then watch Guardians for the first time. If I watched both movies for the first time, for me, I was like, I don't know which one I would like more. Because it's really hard to rate them because for me, Star Wars has 30 years of history, right?
Right, yeah.
And so it's always going to be my number one. It's really hard to get away from it. But the movies were very similar. They had like a group of misfits getting together to do something good, right? Had a very similar arc in that way and very memorable characters. And if you were like, watch this movie, which one's better? I don't know.
It's tough.
It's tough. So, if you want me to watch Guardians 1 and Guardians 2 at the same time, I don't know which one is better. I feel like Guardians 2 is getting more of my love right now because it's newer. And I think it's better, but I don't know if it would be better if you directly matched it up. If I watched them for the same, with a fresh perspective at the same time.
Well, it's tough when you've got a movie that comes out like, okay, you said Star Wars New Hope. It was a revolutionary movie of its time. It launched an entire genre of movies.
Right.
So it's almost unfair, of course, looking at it matched up with something made in 2017, you can't visually, graphically measure up to it. Right. But you're right. So you get a Guardians of the Galaxy, the first volume, and you're like, man, this is such a great movie. You get Volume 2, it's really more of such a great movie, in my opinion. They're all tied together.
Yeah, and without Star Wars, we can argue there wouldn't be a Guardians.
Right. It's more than likely not,
Because it launched that whole genre, the space opera genre. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be great, obviously. I think we're going to get more of what we already like, and we might be having a conversation where we're like, this is the best movie, Right?
The best music is Volume 3.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Perfect song.
Right.
I don't know. We'll see. But that's it, boys and girls. We'll see you guys tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to be talking about, but I guarantee you it'll be good. It'll be entertaining.
It'll be good. Something different.
Hopefully you'll get some information from us. And if you want a specific topic, you want us to talk about, research, and get something, talk about something you want to talk about, please comment below and let us know what you would like us to talk about. What franchise or TV show or game or movie or just general pop culture.
Anything in the world.
Yeah. Whatever you want us to talk about, we would love your input. There's a plethora of stuff that we can talk about. And every day we're like, I wonder if we should be talking about this, that. And we don't want to go outside our zone too much. Maybe we also want to continue creating really good content that people actually care about. So your input would be greatly appreciated. Share, comment, subscribe. And Shane?
Yeah, and make sure, remember, we're closing on 200 subscribers. Somebody's going to be chosen for that wonderful gift. So, like you said, we'll be talking to you soon tomorrow, and thanks for checking us out. And can't wait I'm already ready for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, man. I can't wait. I wish it was coming out tomorrow.
I do too. We love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.